Okay, so we are here. Thanks, everybody. I know it's late, but we ask you just a few more minutes to have the last report of the group sessions. I don't know if Amy wants to start, and maybe we can add later.
Only a little thing, I don't know, I talk to Italian, in Italian because for our Italian guest. Siamo tornati in plenaria, quindi è disponibile, correggimi se sbaglio Gloria, ancora il servizio di interpretazione, quindi se andate su i tre puntini interpretazione italiano dovreste riuscire a sentire come all'inizio la traduzione simultanea.
Mi stavo dimenticando. Thanks.
Okay, Amy, if you want the floor is yours.
Yeah, of course. I think we had a really interesting discussion. I think we focused a lot on the challenges and very similar challenges that we face at ACLI and at LOP. So we had the majority of or everyone that was part of the conversation from ACLI was a set of volunteers who have arranging, some people who have been volunteers for many years, and some people for the last couple of years. And so some of the challenges that sorry, I've just got a little message about my language. I'm not sure if I need to do anything about that. Okay, I hope that everyone can hear me okay. I'm not sure what setting that was that popped up on Zoom. Some of the challenges that we spoke about was the demand for work being decreased in some of the areas. Also the interest from migrants in the services that were provided. There are some difficulties with how long individual coaching could take place for and maintaining relationships and also maintaining interest in people also coming to services. We also talked about the need to build better connections with companies and the job market locally and some of the challenges that we face with that. Yeah, and then also the need, because of the different difficulties that migrants face, the need for other workers and specialists, whether that is psychologists or cultural specialists, is something that that we face is a difficult challenge. Yeah, and some of the feedback that we had about the tools that we created, some people who'd seen a little bit of the tools but not necessarily gone through all the materials, but people discussed about needing less academic materials and more practical approaches. That's something that there's some materials that we haven't uploaded yet from Lobside that we've created that are more activity worksheets that I hope people maybe will be able to find use out of. But I think it's something we'll always really take on board for seeing how we can make things more accessible for volunteers and less in this very classic European projects, very academic language. Yeah, and there was a lot of discussion about this need for resources for helping to support with talking to businesses and making sure that there is a connection with the job market locally. So that's maybe something that we could expand on. I don't know if you have anything else to add there, Michaela, that I missed.
If Michele doesn't has anything to add, or all the others of the first group, maybe I can just go ahead with what came out from our group. Paolo and Maria were with Elena and me, and they talked us about their jobs, what they're doing, because they are professionals working in other agencies, and for example. They agreed with us and they talked about the one of the main problems they have with migrant peoples they meet during their job day, because the main problem is the language skills. Because when a person doesn't speak Italian or Norwegian, in low case, it's very difficult to find a job and to enter the job market. So often the problem is to um, work with them in practice the language of the country they're living in, and to also get them understand that to speak and to know the language is very important, because very often these people, of course, they need to work, and so they, like, this is their main problem. And but it's difficult to get a job if you don't speak a language, the language. And so this is the first obstacle we meet. Well, they meet, and so to get migrant users, to study Italian or Norwegian. And for example, then another issues that came out was the engage of volunteers, and how the organizations train the volunteers. Because of course, when you meet a migrant, it is very important, as in other cases, when you meet a person, you need to know how the context, and how to engage with the person you have there. And so, for example, this can be a problem, and we can collaborate more in this for this issue. And another thing is to how users get in touch with the organizations, because, for example, at the job desk for ACLI, sometimes is easier to be known, because the network is very big, but in some other cases, it's not so easy that a migrant person just came in the country, just arrived in the country. Is this difficult for this person to know the realities that can help him or her to better integrate in the country. And also, so for example, I go back to the language skills. Is difficult to one other thing that came out, that is that it's difficult to get the job market requirements if you if you don't have the skills that can be language or other skills. And for example, Elena was telling us that LOPE works with schools, with social services, and they can reach migrants people through, for example, social media, and through all these services, to help them better and to work in a network, in a better network. I don't know if you, Elena, or you want to add something? Michele? Sorry.
For
Okay.
me, it's okay. If our guest want
Posso,
to...
posso, posso aggiungere una cosa?
Assolutamente.
Mi sentite?
Sì,
Ok.
poi traduce, then we
Mm,
translate into English.
Rileviamo qualche volta anche una certa diffidenza da parte delle aziende a inserire comunque lavoratori extracomunitari. È brutto da dirsi, però è bene farlo presente. Basta, volevo solo aggiungere questo.
Traduco e poi Livia was saying that very often it's difficult. She's an active volunteer, and very often for volunteers, it's difficult to reach the engagement of companies, because very often companies are don't see very well migrants people, and so it's to do the match between companies and migrant users. It's very difficult. This thing actually, and I just try to respond, and it's not an answer, but came out also in our group, because these, as I was saying, these kinds of I don't know how to say. Maybe discrimination towards migrant people is very common. Also, if I don't remember wrong, also in Norway. Maybe I was saying I'm saying wrong, but and yes, we are trying as organization to try to work with these relations, also with the companies, to try to give migrants people better opportunities and better possibilities. Often it's difficult, I know, but I think we are trying our best also to solve also the situation. Perry, maybe
I want to add something to this now, and that should be maybe then also put this all in a frame, and we should finish the webinar since we are hanging a little bit behind. We have the same problems, and I think organizations like ours should take away the pressure on our shoulders that we have to help everyone who's coming, or that we're helping everyone who's coming, but we are not succeeding with everyone who's coming. We are facing the same discrimination problems. That is also a reason why we are having all these European projects again and again with the same thematic, helping migrants out in work. And that is, if we can help 2 out in work out of 100, then we help 2. But then we help 2 families. And we just have to take this pressure from ourselves that I know we want to help all the hundreds coming to us, but we are working against a wall in our own countries. It's not our problem. It's not our fault that all these companies are discriminating these people. This is kind of in the nature of people, and we have to continue our work, even though it's a slowly work, even though it's just one drop in the ocean. It continues. So I have the same pressure. I'm feeling the same pressure. Why don't we get more people out and work? But it's not our fault. It's the fault from out there. So we have to go slowly again and again, talk again to this company. Couldn't you imagine to get this as an internship, this person or something? And then also, to be fair enough to Italy, it's pretty unfair that Norway is the same discriminating as Italy, because we are not facing the same problems as you do. And I wouldn't call it discrimination in Italy so much, but you just have too many people coming to your country that you can't relate to our situation in Norway. It's a luxury situation we have in Norway. So actually, it's a shame that our companies are so discriminating. So, so that is one reason why we should continuing with our European projects, developing tools. And if just one person is reading it, we succeeded already. And then with the next project, 2 persons are reading it or something. So don't give up the good work you are doing. Don't feel demotivated. It's not our fault. We do our job. We do a good job altogether.
Thank you very much, Perry. And I want to add something. Thank you very much, Livia, for your consideration. That is very important for us. Also because it's a little preview, but we are working with LOPE and other organizations onto this theme, onto this thematic. So to trying to enter in a more specific way into businesses, to help also to have businesses to understand the topic and see migrant as a if you allow me, as a resource and not a problem. So I'm very glad that also you as a volunteer and professional see this kind of not maybe not problem, but issue, and because help us to understand that it is very important to tackle it and to say something also in from the business côté, if I can say. I don't know if someone else wants to add something. If not, thank you very much for your participation. Livia, if you want to say something, I see that you are unmuted. Okay.
No, no.
So thank you very much, because it's very important. Of course, the project is not finished, so we will stay in contact, in touch with you, sharing, of course, all our materials, all our tools to you, in order to evaluate them and see if they are suitable for you, for your organization, and for your work. And thank you very much. Stay in touch, and thanks again. Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye
Thank you
bye.
so
Very
much.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.